I'm not against potentially changing the format of the season, even possibly shortening it a bit, if we can demonstrate that that's going to have a direct impact on injuries. And for example, last season we played 10 fewer games and essentially had no impact.
Silver Slipper. It wasn't because you didn't have any impact. The problem was that you shortened the season, but you rushed people back too quick to basketball. Their bodies are not used to playing that quick and going back into playing again that fast after just coming through your bubble tournament. You rushed everybody back and guys went down quicker with very serious injuries. The NFL learned this when they started canceling out OTAs and cutting them down, that during the season they lost the majority of their players. And like ACL tears, there was more ACL tears that year than any time other than. So it's not about what you think it's about, Adam. You're doing too much babying. But we'll get there. Don't he look lost as hell?
Our best players are incentivized to be on the floor. At the same time, we obviously don't want to see them injured. And so what we're hoping is we can all work collectively, the 30 teams together, in a non-competitive way, together with our Players Association, and figure out what is optimal on these players' bodies so that they're incentivized to play, but aren't overdoing it to the extent where they end up playing too much and pushing through injuries that ends up hurting their careers.
Incentivized to play? You mean to tell me you gotta incentivize a NBA basketball player to play the game of basketball, and we need to cater to that? There's people out there that play around this country for years. They're killing their bodies. Everything. They're just killing their bodies, hoping one day, they can get on that stage. And they have to be incentivized? This is the most passive aggressive commission. If David Stern was alive, he'll be choking you right now. They gotta be incentivized. Eh? This type of nonsense at the commissioner's behest is leading the NBA down a road they won't recover from if they continue to keep pushing this envelope. Richard Jefferson was the only one who stood up and said it the right way, because it's nonsense. It is absolute nonsense to think this would have a positive impact on the league in any way, shape, or form. I was saying don't disturb and mess with the history of the game. You're not a basketball guy. You come from marketing. And that's the problem. David Stern was a basketball guy. He got it. He understood. You don't mess with the foundation of the game. You can tinker with it a little bit, but don't mess with it. The game is what it is. Once you start altering the game, you create garbage like this. You got to listen to this stuff over and over again. You're pampering to players. And when you do that, there's never going to be enough. They're going to find something else to complain about. And then you're going to be running to do that. Now you're going to be messing with records, stats, how players are paid. This whole system is falling apart because there's no structure and no one with any backbone to make a stand.
I think this is absurd. I think this is. Let me. I just got to try. This is my issue right here, right? is that you have game readies, you have Normatex. There was years ago where players used to not travel. They would not travel commercial. We have eliminated back-to-backs. We now have a week-long all-star break instead of like 3.5 days. Yep. And I remember guys used to have to catch flights, play the last game on Thursday, playing the game on Sunday, and then you would have a game on Tuesday, Wednesday. They have done every single thing. Every team now has sleep staffs. They have extra training staff. When I came into the league, you had two doubled as an equipment manager. Now you had a massage therapist that travel with teams. Now guys are still want to shorten the season? Look, how much more do we have to make this coddling and all of this stuff go with the players? It makes absolutely no sense. Professional sports is not good on your body. It's supposed to separate the people that can do it from the people that can't do it. And while we do want our best product on the floor, part of greatness is longevity. That's what Michael Jordan, that's what Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's what LeBron James, all of these guys, we talk about their greatness over a long period of time. And to keep eliminating this and dialing back to the point where it's like, there's nothing else for the players to do. I think it is a joke. I think they should never do this. Now, if you were talking about the in-season tournament, I think that's 100% maybe if you wanted to just have a little bit more space. But this right here is the epitome of coddling players to make sure that everything is okay. On top of the fact that players are taking rest days. On top of the fact that they're taking rest days right now. So how are you going to give them rest days and then say, well, we're going to shorten it to 60 games. We're going to shorten it to 70 games. At the end of the day, they're still going to take time off.
Tell them about the money.
The money. Oh, they're making all that money. I'm sorry. These are the teams, these are the owners need to get on these. It's not just the players. Don't say the players. It's literally, I've seen guys have a thumb injury and not be able to play it back-to-back because they didn't want their conditioning to be off. Right? Like if you have a thumb injury, you should be in conditioning. I'm going to stop because I'm getting too excited here. But the fact that we want to talk about shortening the season now with all of this stuff, you tore your ACL. I missed time before this, and it ain't just because of that. If guys aren't conditioning 24 hours a day to make sure that their bodies are taken care of, that's on them and that's on the team. But shortening the season, you're going to mess with records, you're going to mess with numbers, you're going to mess with so much of our basketball because this group or the way that's handled right now can't handle it. I'm off that.
And carry on.
And that's all Perk needed to say. But Richard Jefferson told it the way it needed to be. There's nothing else really to add. That's it. How does that even get discussed and brought into the category of that's the problem is we play too many games? Whoever said that was the problem? The problem is you cater to these players so much and you giving them so much power to now they'll feel like they don't have to do nothing. David Stern used to tell you, it's because I said so, and you had to do it. If you didn't do it, you get the hell out the league. You don't like it here, then leave. You know how many people starving to be in here? Michael Jordan came back and played for the Wizards. Stern was not with that at all. He was pissed off. He said, no, we've just finally got it right. The first time he retired, we weren't ready. The second time he retired, the league was ready. Now, we're trying to get everybody away from the Michael Jordan thing. And now we're being sucked back into the Michael Jordan era. No, we're not. We're going in a whole different direction. So it was Shaq and the Lakers. It was their reign. It was their time. Jordan wasn't the storyline. He was not going to be the guy. They were giving him no special treatment. Nothing. He was treated like a regular player. And it was clear. That's what he wanted anyway. Yeah, well, you got to look at it from another perspective. Richard Jefferson is only doing what Richard Jefferson is supposed to do. But that time he's hot because he knew he was on to the right thing. Now, the reason why this was brought up, that was during the NBA Finals. But the reason why it's coming back up now is because it's so prevalent, because they're looking at starting all NBA teams. Like, we got to expand it because there's so many stars. It's unfair that you're determining players' contract money based on the media voting. That's a bad idea. And then you have all NBA 1, 2,